My student, physics first paper, chapter number 2, vector chapter. My today's topic is cross product, my student. In my last class, I'm going to introduce some basic idea about cross product. So in this class, my student, I'm going to solve some cross product and some formula, some basic formula I'm going to find out so that I can find out the cross product in between two vector quantities. Suppose, for example, my student, here vector A is a three-dimensional vector. It is ax I hat plus it is ay j hat plus it is az k hat. Again, my student, this is vector B, and vector B will equal to this is bx I hat plus this is by j hat plus this is bz k hat, my student, plus this is bz k hat. Okay, so in this class I'm going to find out the cross product in between these two vector quantity, vector A into vector B. But the question is here, how can I cross product these two vector? So let's see, vector A cross vector B. My student, so at first I'm going to write down the vector A, ax I hat plus this is ay j hat plus this is az k hat. Okay, my student, and then cross with vector B, and this vector B will equal to this is bx I hat plus this is by j hat plus this is bz k hat. Please remember, my student, if you don't understand any line, any step, please ask me. This online class, this is a virtual class. Okay, so if you don't ask me, then I don't understand that if you get this point or not. So please raise your hand or ask me. Okay, if you don't understand this point or any kind of point here. By the student, here there are two parts of this product. One is scalar part, another is vector part. I know that when you go to multiply two vector quantities, then scalar 1 multiply with the scalar 1, and then the vector 1 multiply with the vector 1. So on this concept, at first I'm going to consider ax I hat to multiply this whole vector B. So this is my student. I can say that this is ax bx. The things is here, first one I hat cross then I hat. Okay, by the student. So you see that here scalar 1 multiply with the scalar 1, and then you see that vector 1 is multiplied with the vector 1. Okay, by using the cross product. Plus, my dear student, plus here ax, it is multiplied with by. Then this is I hat multiplied with j hat. Plus, my dear student, then ax bz. Ax bz. Okay, so this is I hat multiplied with k hat, my dear student, plus then ay, my dear student, ay multiplied with bx. So this is j hat cross I hat plus, my dear student, ay by. So this is ay multiplied with by. This is j hat cross this is j hat, my dear student, plus here ay bz. Ay and then bz multiplied with j hat cross k hat. Okay, j hat cross k hat. Now, my student, then the rest one is az. So it is az, my student, az, then bx. This is k hat cross this is I hat plus az by. So az by. This multiplied with, my student, k hat cross j hat. Then, my student, this is az bz. Az bz. Okay, so this one is k hat cross this one is k hat. Okay, my dear student, this one is k hat cross k hat. So these are the product, cross product. Now, from my last class, you know that if you multiply I hat cross I hat, it will equal to 0. If you multiply j hat cross j hat, it will equal to 0. If you multiply k hat cross k hat, it will be 0. So if you apply this concept, my dear student, if you apply this concept here, then you will say that the first function it will equal to 0. Then here, this one it will equal to 0, and the last function it will be 0. My dear student, these functions will equal to 0. Any question? Any one of you, my dear student? Any question? My students, it's a very tough thing. I know that. It's a very tough equation. It's a very tough calculation, okay? But any one of you, any confusion here? You're a very student, very good student, my student. You're a very good student. Okay? So, any confusion here? Any one of you?
No, sir.
Any confusion by the student?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, it is x by, my student. I hat cross j hat. I hat cross j hat. So what is the value of I hat cross j hat, my student? I hat cross j hat will equal to
K hat.
k hat. Very good. Will equal to k hat. Now, my student, the next one. X bz. I hat cross k hat will equal to, my student,
Minus J hat.
minus j hat. Very good. This is minus j hat. Okay. Plus ay bx. Ay bx. Now, my student, j hat cross I hat will equal to what? J hat cross I hat will equal to what, my
Minus
student?
K hat.
It will equal to minus k hat.
Minus K.
It will equal to minus k hat. Okay? And then ay bz, my student. Here ay and then bz. Okay. So here j hat cross k hat will equal to what, my student? J hat cross
I
k
hat.
hat will equal to I hat. Very good. And then az bx, my student. K hat cross I hat. K hat cross I hat will equal to
J hat.
K hat cross I hat will equal to, my
minus
student?
j hat.
No. K hat cross I hat will equal to J hat. Very good. Will equal to J hat. Okay? Plus the last one, it is az and then by, my student. So K hat cross J hat will equal to what? K hat cross
Minus I hat.
J hat
Minus
will equal to minus I hat. Good. Will equal to minus I hat. Okay? So this is the product now. You see that there are two functions having I hat, there are another two functions having j hat, the last two functions having k hat. So I'm just take common in this line, I hat, then j hat, and then k hat. So let's see. You see that, my dear student, this function is bearing I hat, and this function bearing also I hat. So if you take common I hat, then you can say that here ay bz minus az and then by, my dear student, and it is multiplied by I hat, and it's multiplied by I hat. Suppose in next step I'm going to take common here minus j hat. So if I'm going to take common minus j hat, then you see that ax bz becomes positive because I'm going to take minus j hat as a common function. So ax bz is a, by the student, positive sign here, becomes positive sign here. So ax bz becomes positive sign here, minus, so it becomes positive sign here. Okay, and you see that it becomes here negative sign. So az and then bx. So az and then bx. Okay, and the rest function by the student, the rest function is here. There is ax by and ay bx. So this is ax by minus ay bx. Okay, this is multiplied by the student. This is multiplied by k hat. This is multiplied by k hat by the student. So this one is multiplied by here, which quantity? This one is multiplied by here, k hat. Okay, by the student. So this one is multiplied by k hat. Okay. So this is the outcome of this cross product A cross B. Very tough. This one is very tough calculation. Okay. And to remember this, to memorize this is also very tough. That's why we need to modify this equation. We need to modify this calculation. Okay. So let's see how can we convert this function, this complex function into ETS one. Okay. So let's see this. Let's do this. Okay, by the student. There is another things. Suppose, my student, you know about the solution of determinants. Suppose, my student, the first row is just like this: I hat and j hat and then k hat. If you apply here ax, ay, az, first put down the magnitude of the different coefficient of vector A, and then magnitude for different coefficient of vector B, bx, by, and then by the student bz. I'm going to solve this equation, and let's see after solving this equation what would be the value of output, the outcome. I repeat, what would be the value of output or outcome by the student. You see that ax, if I consider I hat, if I consider here I hat, now let's consider here I hat. Okay, if I consider I hat, then how to solve the determinant? You know that very well from mathematics. That is, the corresponding row and column will cancel out. The corresponding row and column will cancel out. And the multiplication is here ay bz minus az by. I repeat, by the student, this becomes here ay bz minus az by. So it is ay bz minus it is az by, by the student. So the process to multiply this one is ay with bz and then minus sign az with by. So these two multiply in this direction and these two multiply in this direction and having a negative sign, by the student. If you consider I hat, when you consider I hat, now by the student, is it clear to you the first portion? Any confusion about the first portion of this determinant solution by the student? Any one of you? Any one of you by the student? Any question here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, very good. You see that for the case of determinant, there is a direction, there is a sign, positive or negative. The first one is positive. The second one is negative. The third one is positive. I repeat, for the case of determinant, the first one is positive. The second one is negative. The third one is also positive. So in next step, this is minus j hat because second one is negative. So since second one is negative, that's why you can consider here ax with bz. Ax with bz, because you know that corresponding row and column is cancelled out in this situation. Corresponding row and column is cancelled out in this situation. So the product is just like this: ax bz. So just like this here, this is ax and then bz minus this is az bx minus this becomes here az bx, my dear student. It becomes here az and then bx plus the last one is k hat, my dear student. For the case of k hat, ax multiplied with by, ax multiplied with by. For the case of k hat, ax with by. Okay, so here ax with by. So ax with by minus the next one is here ay with bx, my dear student. The next one is here ay with bx. So the next one, this is ay bx, ay and then bx is the next one. So you see that the output from first one a cross b, the output from this determinant will equal. So definitely you can say that this will equal to vector a cross vector b. Now I think the determinant part is much more easier to memorize this, much more easier to remember this, okay, than that of this large formula. Okay, than that of this large formula. Okay, so we can say that here vector a cross vector b, I repeat, vector a cross vector b will equal to what? It will equal to here I hat j hat k hat. I repeat, my dear student, I hat j hat k hat. Okay, and then it is ax ay az, bx by bz. So this is the output of a cross b. I repeat, my dear student, so this is the output of a cross b. Okay, so if you want to find out the output of a cross b, then this line, this equation can give you the output of a cross b. Any confusion, my dear student? Any confusion? Any one of you, my dear student? Any confusion here? Any one of you, my dear student? Any confusion here?
No, sir.
Okay, other one, other student, my other student here. And confusion, my dear student? My other student, and confusion here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so my dear student, if you have no confusion, then we're going to solve some mathematical problem on the basis of this cross product. So let's solve some mathematical problem on the basis of this cross product, my dear student. So let's solve some mathematical problem. Suppose, my dear student, this is vector A. Vector A equal to 2i hat plus 4j hat minus k hat. Now, my dear student, this is vector B. Will equal to 3i hat minus j hat plus 2k hat. Okay. The question is here, you are going to find out the cross product of vector A and vector B. I repeat, you are going to find out the cross product of vector A and vector B. So, question is here, calculate the cross product of vector A cross vector B. My dear student, calculate the cross product of vector A cross vector B. Okay, so let's see that, my dear student, what is the output of vector A cross vector B. Okay, now to solve this question, at first vector A cross vector with vector B will equal to what? Will equal to here, my dear student. At first, I'm going to put the determinant here, j hat and then k hat. Then write down the coefficient of the first vector, my dear student. Then write down the coefficient of the first vector. Okay, you see that the first vector is vector A. So the coefficient of vector A, that is 2, 4, and then minus 1. The multiplier of vector A it will equal to what? 2, 4, and then it is minus 1. And then, my student, the multiplier of vector B. The multiplier of vector B will equal to, this is 3, this is minus 1, and this is 2. So it will equal to what? At first we should consider I hat. So 4 multiplied by 2. Okay, my student, 4 multiplied by 2 minus 1 and then minus 1 minus j hat, my student. And for the case of minus j hat, it is 2 multiplied by 2 minus, it is minus 1 multiplied by 3. And the last one is here for the case of k hat, my student. So it is 2 multiplied by minus 1 minus 4 multiplied by 3. So it will give you the cross product of vector A cross vector B. Any confusion, my student, about this cross product? Any confusion, any one of you, about this cross product? Any confusion by the student?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, what is the result of vector A cross vector B? By the student, what is the result of vector A cross here vector B? So find out the result of vector A cross vector B by the student.
7 I hat minus
The result
7
is
j
7 I hat
minus 7 j hat
minus 7 j hat
minus 14 k hat
minus 14 k hat, my student. Minus 7 I hat minus 7 j hat minus 14 k hat. Any confusion, any one of you, my student? Any confusion, any one of you?
minus 7 j hat কিভাবে হচ্ছে?
Is it not? It's not minus 7 j hat. So it's
No, sir,
4
minus 7 j
4 plus 3 minus 7 j hat. Yes, it's correct. It's minus 7 j hat, my student. It's minus 7 j hat. Okay.
আচ্ছা সরি স্যার আমি একটু ভুল করছি।
No problem. So it is minus 7 j hat. Okay. Any one of you, my student? Any one of you? Any confusion? Any one of you, my student? Any confusion here? My student, any one of you? Any confusion
No,
here, my
sir.
student? Any confusion, my student?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Now my next question is here. Do you think A cross B and B cross A are equal? So it's said to you that, do you think A cross B and B cross A are equal? Explain mathematically. Explain mathematically. My student, explain mathematically. So in this segment, you already find out the value of A cross B. You already find out the value of A cross B. Now, to establish this, to show this, you are going to find out the value of B cross A. I repeat, you are going to find out the value of B cross A. Now let's see, what's the value of B cross A, my student? So vector B cross vector A. I repeat, my student. So vector B cross vector A. So vector B cross vector A will equal to what? This is determinant. This is I hat, J hat, K hat. The first vector, vector B. Now, this is 3, this is minus 1, this is 2. The second vector is vector A. This is 2, this is 4, this is minus 1. Okay, so this is the determinant of vector B cross vector A. I repeat, my students, so this is the determinant of vector B cross vector A. Okay, my student, this is the determinant of vector B cross vector A. Now solve this determinant. Here, just like previous one, -1 multiplied with -1 minus 2 multiplied with 4 minus j hat. When you consider minus j hat, then 3 multiplied with -1 minus 2 multiplied with 2 plus k hat, my student, plus k hat. This is 3 multiplied with 4 minus -1 multiplied with 2. Okay. Now, what is the output, my student? What is the product here?
Sir, minus I hat plus j hat and plus 14k hat
Minus.
minus 7 I hat
Very good. Then
plus 7 j hat
plus 7 j hat
plus 14k hat
plus 14k hat. Very good, my dear student. Plus 14k hat. It's the correct answer, my dear student, isn't it? My dear student?
Sir, it's negative.
Yes, sir.
It's the correct answer, my dear student, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if you take a minus sign common, then it is 7i hat minus 7j hat minus 14k hat. Can I write this part will equal to vector A cross B? My student, can I write this part will equal to A cross B? Can I write down this function, my student? Can I write down this one? This part will equal to A cross B. Okay. So it will equal to minus A cross B. So definitely we can say that B cross A doesn't equal to A cross B. B cross A will equal to minus A cross B. Or in another hand, you can say that here vector A cross vector B will equal to what? Minus vector B cross vector A. Minus vector B cross vector A. Okay, my dear student. So this is the correct one. My dear student, so this is the correct one. Okay, so this is the correct answer. So we must say that here A cross B doesn't equal to B cross A. We must say that here A cross B doesn't equal to B cross A. But A cross B will equal to minus B cross A. I repeat, A cross B will equal to minus B cross A. Okay, so this one is the correct answer. I repeat, by the student. So this one is the correct answer. Okay, so this is the correct answer. And confusion, my dear student, any one of you? Any one of you, my dear student, any confusion here? Any one of you, my dear student?
Sir,
And confusion here? My dear student, any confusion? Any one of you?
No, sir.
Okay. So if you have no confusion, then I'm going to solve another mathematical problem. Can I start another mathematical problem, my dear student? I have only 4 minutes time in my hand. Can I solve another mathematical problem, my dear student?
okay,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Suppose I'm going to change the digit here, vector A with vector B. I'm going to change the digit, my dear student. I'm going to change the digit. Okay. Suppose the first one is here, my dear student, is I hat plus 2j hat plus 4k hat. The second one is, my dear student, 3i hat minus 9j hat plus 13k hat. Now, on the basis of this step, my dear student, please solve question number, first question, that is just like question number C. And second question, that's just like question number D. Okay, my dear student. So on the basis of this given stem, this change value, this given stem, please try to solve this question number C and this question number D. Okay, my dear student. Please try to solve this question number C and this question number D. Okay. I'll give you 3 minutes time to solve this question. By the student, I'll give you 3 minutes time to solve this question. Okay. Okay, my student. Now, at first find out answer of the question number C, and then, my dear student, question number D. Make it hurry.
Sir, C হবে 62 I hat
62 I hat
minus J hat
minus J hat
minus 15 K hat.
minus 15 K hat. Okay, my other student, please check this calculation. Okay.
Yes, sir. It is.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, very good. So it's correct. So if it is correct, then B cross A will equal to just having a negative sign. 62 I hat plus J hat plus 15 K hat. You just take a negative sign common. So you can say that it is 62 I hat minus J hat minus 15 K hat. So it will equal to minus A cross vector B. So surely you can say that vector A cross vector B will equal to minus vector B cross vector A. I repeat, my dear student, surely you can say that this one. But please try to justify this. I repeat, my dear student, please try to justify this, okay?
Yes, sir. করেছি sir. CD.
All of you, my dear student, all of you.